Hey guys, and welcome back to Altcoin Buzz Spotlight with me, Layah Heilpern, the show where we speak to entrepreneurs, innovators, and thought leaders in the cryptocurrency and the blockchain space. Joining me today is Anita Moore, the founder and CEO of BlindBoxes, a gamified curation platform and launchpad for NFTs. Now guys, before we jump in, don't forget to hit the like button and hit subscribe so you never miss a video, and let us know in the comment section below who you want us to interview next and which topics you'd like us to cover. Anita, welcome to Altcoin Buzz Spotlight. How are you doing today?
I'm great. So good to be here.
Yeah, it's good to chat to you. You have a really interesting project with quite a unique name. So that's kind of where I want to start. Tell me about the project and where did the name come from?
Sure. So BlindBoxes is a gamified, decentralized aggregator platform for NFTs, plus a launchpad for NFT creators. And the name of BlindBoxes actually comes from what their core value proposition. So what we are doing is that we are pooling in NFTs from various sources. And so we're looking at places within the art world, looking into music, entertainment, and we'll say other. And we're pooling them in using a unique mechanism that is driven by our curators, which we can definitely talk about. And then we're bringing these NFTs into these collections. And these collections are special in that they are highly curated, and that the items that come into the collections, they have their own price tag, right? But when they leave, they come with the same price tag. And so there's this mystery box mechanism that we're calling a blind box mechanism, which I could definitely dig into deeper, but just to, kind of overscore it, BlindBoxes is the mechanism by which we're selling our NFTs.
And you have two major products within all of this, so tell me about that.
Yeah, so as I talked about briefly just now, we have our BlindBoxes marketplace. So this is where you can go if you want to purchase NFTs in this special mystery box function and curated way. We also have the Launchpad, which we just announced a few days ago. And the Launchpad, you can kind of think of it if you're in the crypto world, sort of like an IDO platform for NFT creators, in that we allow creators to come to us with their projects. So these can be independent creators like artists, for example, or they can be emerging brands within the NFT space that have a lot of inventory. They come to us, they get vetted, we review their project, and we allow them to, after they pass some screening, to launch their product on our platform. And so they can bring their own ERC20 tokens, and they can have a full launch where they will be selling their tokens to our token holders, to our community. And the cool thing about this is that it's a way for us to leverage our community to help other projects get off the ground. And with this Launchpad functionality, I think it'll be cool to talk about, since I haven't talked about it too much previously. The tokens will have unique functionality and utility. So at their base level, they are social tokens or community tokens, but we want to make sure that these tokens have real value for our users. So what we're doing is we're directing projects to tie these tokens to the future sales of their work. So for example, there might be a project called Layah Coin. And what they will do is that those who invest in Layah Coin will then unlock royalty rights to your work for the next year or two. So the terms can be pretty flexible, but the idea is that token holders will be able to invest early in creators and then do a little bit of profit sharing moving forward.
I understand. And I think what always gets me about these kind of projects is that you're dealing with artists, right? Artists who don't necessarily come from this world of blockchain and tech. So how do you work with them to help them understand? You mentioned, creating your own coin there. How can they understand that and actually utilize the entire platform to its greatest extent?
Yeah, it's interesting. I personally have a lot of experience dealing, working in the intersection of, we'll say, the art world or the creative world and blockchain. And so it's always interesting to find ways to translate the most valuable, the most interesting parts of blockchain. So of course, blockchain and tokenomics and all these things, which you're quite familiar with, can be highly technical. But when you distill them down, the value proposition can be easy to understand for someone, even if they're in the more creative space. So it's all about getting to the core of what matters. And then from our side, providing the expertise to know where the boundaries should be, where they can avoid any sort of regulatory issues, because there are important considerations. So for us, it's all about distilling, translating, and then guiding, and being consultants in a lot of ways. Mm-hmm.
And what would you say I know you have touched on this, but what would you say some of the main benefits are for not just the artists, but also the collectors?
Yeah, so when we're talking about, so I think for this question, I'll pivot back to the marketplace because the marketplace is very collector focused. So the idea is when you're looking at current auction marketplaces, one issue that we're seeing is that there is a lack of curation. And so when you go to a large marketplace, you'll see tons of art that's for auction, but it's hard for at least for me as a collector to understand what is the real value of things, what should be interesting to me. And so what we're really focusing on with the BlindBoxes marketplace is curation. And so as a buyer, you can come to our platform and see groups of work that have been put together by curators. And these are curators that you may or may not know. They might be some tastemakers or celebrities that you've been following, influencers. It could be even a large artist that you know. So already you know that someone has put the work in to organizing this collection, and you know who they are. You can also research them as well.
Mm-hmm.
When you come to a collection, you also get to see the artwork that's in the collection. Okay, so you have a look, so there might be 10 pieces that are in this collection. You also get to see the price associated. So this is an important difference between our platform and potentially the other marketplaces. Instead of having an auction format, we're allowing the artists to put their own value to their work. And so, of course, on the back end, we do provide some guidance, but we allow artists to do this. And so sometimes it's a bit of experimentation, but oftentimes they're using the values that they sold before. So this can give the buyers trust that at least there is a value that they can buy that's a fixed price that makes sense to them. And then finally, as I mentioned with the mystery box mechanism, which I'll explain a bit more now. So these items come into the collection with their own price tag. So you might have something that is 200 euro value, or something that's 400 euro value, or something that's 1,000 euro value. And then they each come into the collection, and then they each get put into their own blind box virtually. Right. And then each box in that collection gets the same price tag. And roughly that price tag will be determined by the price of everything in the collection. So it'll be a balance of all of those prices. So for the user side, they get to come to this collection, they can see the works inside, and they're going to be able to buy a box from this collection at the same flat rate. So if a collection is designed in a way that's clever, there'll be, let's say, a bunch of pieces that cost around the same price, and then one or two Easter eggs that are of higher value. So maybe these are by a very famous artist, or maybe these are event tickets or something a bit more special with unlockables. And so there's this arbitrage opportunity potentially where they can buy a box for one price but get a value that's much higher. So this can be a really cool mechanism, this gamification. Not all collections will feature this gamification. Some will just be items that are around the same price. But for the collector, it gives them, it eliminates this paradox of choice, because all they have to do is click one button and they know that they'll get one very cool NFT from the collection, as opposed to having to, go on an auction place, watch an auction, and then bid on one item. It's a different value proposition.
Yeah, I can definitely see how that will play out. But you also have staking. And when I was looking through your project, doing some research, it was mind-baffling. I couldn't figure out how and where staking kind of came into all of this. So take me through it.
Yeah, so the idea is that, the underlying token of this entire project is BLES. And we wanted to make sure that our token has robust functionality. And so our team has a strong background in the DeFi space. So we started looking into ways that we can incorporate those aspects to our platform bit by bit. So the idea is that with staking, we are allowing our token holders to earn yield by providing liquidity. And so this function will be going live shortly, imminently. And it's another way for our BLES token holders to incentivize holding the token and also earn for their participation in the platform.
Okay, so tell me about the BLES token then. Where does its value come from? And really, what are the benefits for the holders? Why would they want to stake?
Yeah, so the BLES token, let's see, there are only 100 million BLES token will ever be minted. So there's a fixed supply. And the primary use case for BLES, I would say today, is the purchasing of blind boxes. So as a curator, as I mentioned, the curators drive this entire platform. So the curators can choose when they're designing their collections, whether they will accept BLES or potentially BUSD for right now. And the idea is we really want to incentivize the use of BLES. And so if collectors accept BLES as a denomination for their collection, then they waive the platform fee. Otherwise, they would have to pay a fee to BlindBoxes. So there's one incentive there to do that. And so as a collector, you can accept BLES for your collection. That means on the other end that collectors can pay using BLES. On top of that, we also have a burn mechanism. So 2 burn mechanisms. So the first burn mechanism is, as a collector, if you have chosen to accept BLES, once you sell your collection, you will get your commission, which is based in BLES. You'll have the option to collect your commission. And if you collect your commission in 7 days or less, then 50% of your commission will automatically be burned. If you decide to keep your commission on the platform for 8 days or more, so you collect it on the 8th day or after, then you will get 100% of your commission. So this is one way that we are enacting a burn mechanism to curb inflation on one side. And then we also have another, and these are all controlled by smart contract, burn mechanism, whereby we take a look at the total amount of revenue that the platform brings in per day. And then we use that number to purchase BLES from exchanges. And then that amount, 50% of that amount purchased is burned. Yeah, and then furthermore, the BLES token, quite importantly, can be used to vote. So whenever we have contests are a big part of our platform, which we can always talk about a bit more. In order to vote in contests, you must have some amount of BLES. And if you participate in voting, we also distribute rewards during special voting events. So that's one way that you're able to continue to get BLES. So by having BLES, you can get more BLES. And finally, as a governance token, being a token holder allows you to vote in important governance issues as well on the platform.
What kind of contests are you referring to?
Yeah, so we do these, we've started this recently, but we are teaming up with brands that are actually particularly not in the NFT space. And the idea is that what we're doing is we're leveraging our creative community to create really cool art in the theme of our partner company. And so we'll be announcing them this week, so I won't say the names of the companies, but these are names that you would know if you're in the DeFi space. And the idea is that we're leveraging all of this amazing creativity that we have already in our community to do really cool stuff that can help that brand enter the NFT space. And so we're collecting, so you can imagine, for example, we did this for BlindBoxes. So the idea was artists, the theme is BlindBoxes. You know our logo, you know what we're about, go create. And we received such cool stuff, like whether it's sort of digital paintings, 3D renders, music, and other things. And then the idea is that the partner company, if we're doing this with a partner, will select the top 3. That will be the top 3 designs will be selected by the voting community. So they'll vote on these designs, and then they will be turned into NFTs. And so the voting will be done completely on the blockchain, which is pretty cool. And those top 3 designs would then be turned into an NFT. So the idea is that for artists, it's a cool way for them to get involved in a project, be connected with a brand, and then have their work actually turned into an NFT, which will then be sold on our platform. So it's a whole cool loop. For the partner company, it allows them a really cool entry into the NFT space. It's really good for marketing as well. And it also gives them exposure to our community, which is quite robust in terms of artists and investors as well.
And how is the rollout of the mainnet going?
It's going quite well. We released our beta about 2 weeks ago. We're currently in the middle of a cosmetic facelift. And so we're doing over the entire interface. We want it to look a bit more slick and a bit more clean. However, the beta site is still quite live. We have over 30 collections so far that have been uploaded to the site. I should check again because that number goes up. And I think about 12 have sold out already. And so already we have artists who have created collections on the platform and sold out on the platform, and now they're coming back and bringing new people. So the mechanism is working, and we're really excited about that.
That's really positive to hear. So just finally then, tell us, what can we expect for the rest of 2021? What does the roadmap look like?
Yeah, so for us, it's all about perfecting and refining the 2 major features that we've talked about. So the marketplace, making it as clean and robust as we can, bringing in lots of amazing artists. And so I've already signed deals with really cool IP, intellectual property within art, music, and gaming. And you can stay tuned to hear some of those announcements. So just growing our roster in that direction is going to be quite important for us. as well as with Launchpad. So Launchpad, as it seems, it's a bit more of a long process, but the idea is that we want to bring high quality emerging projects to our investor base so that they can invest early into profit sharing, for example. And that's coming. And then on the tech side, so we've rolled out on Binance Smart Chain already. Quite soon, we will be adding Ethereum support. And so it'll look very much the same or exactly the same. But then the idea is that these NFTs will now be Ethereum-based NFTs. And then soon thereafter, we'll be looking into other solutions. And so we've already sort of decided internally that Polkadot is going to be the direction that we will go in. So that'll be at some point in Q3 or Q4. And then we're talking to other protocols as well. For us, it's all about interoperability, and we want to be able to support as many different types of NFTs and technologies and protocols as we can.
Yeah, it's always so interesting to hear people talk about all these different protocols and blockchains, because interoperability is absolutely just exploding at the moment. So Anita, I want to thank you so much. It's been such a pleasure having you on. Your project's really different, so it's really great to hear more about it. So we'll have to catch up with you in a few months to find out how everything has gone on. So thank you so much.
Yes, absolutely. Looking forward to talking again soon.